Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Britain's worst neighbor is jailed after tearing roof tiles from couple's home in Seven or War over garden fence. A Neighbour from hell who tore the roof off an OAP couple's home in a bitter 7-year war over a garden fence has been jailed. Mark Coates, 57, smashed a hole through the roof of his semi-detached home before clambering out. He then began tearing off the tiles and chimney pots off the £450,000 home before throwing them to the ground. When he had largely destroyed his own roof, he moved over to his neighbor's home and began tearing the tiles from their home. Neighbor Janice Turner, 66, called police, but was left crying in the garden as she watched Coates start to demolish her home. Video of the incident, captured by police, showed Coates armed with a hammer methodically smashing up the roof of both homes. A 2-hour police standoff ensued before Coates was finally arrested and taken into custody. A jury heard that in just 2 hours Coates had caused more than £200,000 worth of damage to the homes in Robertsbridge, near Hastings. Coates was found guilty of 2 counts of criminal damage on the properties after a trial at Lewes Crown Court, but was cleared of harassment. Residents living close to the victims said the dispute had had a massive effect on the whole community and branded Coates one of the worst neighbors in Britain. Today, recorder Ben Williams, KC, branded Coates a human wrecking ball, as he sentenced Coates to 4 years and 4 months. He said the destruction of the homes was a clear revenge attack on his neighbors and had had a devastating impact on them. The court was told Miss Turner, 66, now suffers from an anxiety response every time she heard crockery smash. She said the last 7 years had been hugely stressful, and she was so upset she could not sit in court for the sentencing. Miss Turner added, "I was crying. I felt very, very frightened. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was extremely distressed." While Mr. Greenwood, a mechanic, said, he was systematically and vindictively destroying the property. He cut a hole through the joists. He took the staircase out of his house. His aim was to destroy and diminish its value. It was calculating and spiteful. Tiles were being thrown everywhere. Chimney pots were being smashed off. I was quite shocked. I've never seen someone destroying a house that way before. The whole situation was completely out of hand. It was just total destruction. The incident happened on June 10 last year and brought to an end the long-running dispute between the neighbors, which started when a fence panel fell down. When a new fence separating their 2 gardens was erected, the 2 neighbors disagreed over where the boundary was. Lewes Crown Court heard that, after years of litigation, the case had eventually gone to the High Court. The warring neighbors had been warned by High Court Judge, Mr. Justice Morgan, that persisting in the row could result in financial ruin for one or both of them before a ruling was made against Coates. Coates, a father of 5, was jailed, handed a £475,000 court bill, and was ordered to sell his home to pay for the huge sum. As a result, his property was to be sold to reimburse the victims' legal fees, as well as to pay for the damage caused to their property. But just 3 days before he was due to hand over the house keys, Coates decided to cause massive damage to the properties. A video, captured from a police body-worn camera, shows officers trying to reason with Coates and coax him down from the roof. But Coates told officers, "I've had this house stolen off me by a judge and corrupt police. I'll cause as much damage as I can to devalue the house." Coates then clambered across the roof and began smashing tiles from neighbors' adjoining home, throwing tiles down into their garden. Miss Turner said, he was smashing a hole from the inside of his attic space and cutting the batons and knocking the tiles off the roof. He was picking some of them up and throwing them into the garden and towards me. I was standing by my greenhouse and I felt debris from the roof go past my face. She said when the hole was big enough to climb through, Coates clambered out onto the roof. Miss Turner said, he continued to remove everything from that roof and then breached the party wall area and completely removed the best part of the roof at the rear of my property. In the video, shown to the court, Coates told officers his aim was to cause as much damage as possible. He said he wanted charges to be so serious he would get a trial by jury, where he would be able to expose officials who had used corruption and bias to strip him of his home. In mitigation, Richard Body, defending, said Coates was a dedicated family man who had a previous good character. He said, however, he has an aspect of his character that is stubborn, which is how he has got himself into this very unfortunate position. Coates, who was cleared of 2 counts of causing fear of violence or harassment, was handed an indefinite restraining order.